What do we have there, Jason?
I don't know. It's a behemoth. Gracious, see. Look at that. Look, that's my hand. Thing's the size of a hubcap.
Okay, that's the color. And there you see too, see the bright white. So there's so many rings, it's a little hard to read.
Well, that was so cool, and I don't think any of us saw where this data was going to take us.
Happy New Year, y'all. January 1st, 2025, and we're starting the year off right. I'm getting ready to jump on the boat here with, maybe some of y'all know this guy, Chris Miller. He's one of our podcast guests from last year, and if you remember, he was on the podcast, and we were talking about catching ginormous tournament-sized crappie. And Chris and I have got an idea, and so, but we're not going to tell you about it yet. We need to get on the water, and we'll fill you in later. So ride along with us. All right. So I said we got on the water. I'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing here now. Chris is getting a live scope in the water, and we're on a twofold scientific fishing expedition. Twofold, and so we're going to talk a little bit about what that is. So give you a little background on it. So here a while back on the podcast, we had Troy Thompson come on. He's our North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission District 6 biologist, and we did a whole podcast on crappie and how they set out traps, and they, on the different reservoirs and lakes, you know, they catch those fish, and then they take them, they sample them, they measure them, they weigh them, and then a certain percentage of those fish that they pull out of those traps, they're this is not a scientific term, right, but they're cracking those fish open, their heads open, they're taking out the otoliths, and they're aging those fish, and they're looking for things like growth patterns, like age class of fish. They're seeing how fast they grow. They're seeing, you know, looking for stunted populations, that sort of thing, because you know, sometimes the 8-inch crappie is really young, and then sometimes they're really old, and so that otolith is where, you know, they're getting that information from. So anyway, long story short, they set these traps out to catch these fish, and you know, they're catching them like on, you know, creek edges and points and things like that, and typically they're not getting real big fish in those traps. What they're not getting in the traps are these solitary, you know, bass-like fish, you know, these fish that think, you know, bigger fish think differently, they have different habits, so they're not getting samples of those fish, right? So they're getting sort of different data that they're plugging in. So anyway, Chris came up with this idea. He called me, he said, man, I'm really excited. He said, I think what we need to do is we need to go out and catch some big ones, some of those solitary, you know, bass-minded type, you know, big slabs. We're talking like, you know, 2-pounders or, you know, long in there. And let's take those over to the biologist and let's have him age them and show us how he's doing it. And let's see what kind of data we can get from him. So we're out here today in the name of science, but it's also fishing, so that's kind of fun too. Smash it. Smash it. Oh, there we go. Got him.
Not a giant, but he's fighting.
Yeah. All right. I'm always optimistic.
You're close.
All right, he's in between the two then, wasn't he? All right, cool. Oh, he sees it. He sees it. There you got him.
Getting bites.
Yeah. Say 1, 2.
One, two, two.
1, 2, 2. Well, they're getting bigger. Everyone's getting a little bigger.
A little bigger. Oh man, show us that fish.
Come on, he's coming for it. All right.
There's a better fish.
I'm going 1.5.
Yeah. Yep. 151.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty healthy one.
Let's put him in the live.
All right. He's checking it out. There he comes.
All right, they're starting to hit.
Yeah, all right.
Feels like a white. He just got the little bit bigger head turn.
Sure is. Well, that's a good size one. That's a big old white crappie.
People ask me, Chris, how'd you know that was a white?
Yeah.
A lot of people ask me, well, it's like a bass. It's got longer head turns because it's a longer fish. I can just feel it.
Okay. Say 1-4.
1-2-2.
1,
He's
2,
a little
2.
skinny.
Okay.
A little skinny.
Yeah. All right.
Getting some bites.
Okay.
But see how pretty that fish is? See the stripes?
Boy, he is just a pretty looking fish.
Gorgeous.
Pretty
And
looking
it's
fish.
probably 13 and a quarter, 13 and a half.
Say.
Oh.
Yeah. He's still right there.
I felt a little. I felt a little. Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
It's like he's still sitting there.
Yeah, he's still sitting right in the same spot, pretty much.
Can't set the hook right here, but I can lean into it.
Oh, he wants it now.
Oh man, this is a good one. Yeah, we're gonna need a net, partner.
That's what I like to hear.
Wow.
That does look like a good one.
Oh, he didn't bite it in the mouth. Let's see what he is.
Yeah, boy, that is a good one.
There we go. That might be two.
He's gonna be close to 2. If he ain't 2, he ain't gonna miss it by far.
Hit it, and it hit him in the head. I had him hooked right there. But
Really?
yeah, I didn't hit it, but he's going to be a 1.
I say
7, 1-6.
Yeah. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm saying 1-7, 1-8.
165.
All right.
177.
177. I'd say he's probably a keeper then.
He'll keep.
All right.
Finally, something with some size.
Something with a little bit of girth to it,
Yep.
bit of thickness.
Nice net job there.
Nice, thank you.
Nice net job.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
Acting like a crappie. I think it sees it. Yep, it sees it.
Oh, nice one. Gracious. That's a good one.
That's feeling better.
That's a good one. Gracious sakes. Look at that. Easy now. What a dadgum tank. Oh, he just came out.
Okay, good. Well, that's a good net job right there.
Oh, look at him. Boy, looky there. He's got a little piece missing out of
He
it.
does.
Look
How
at
much
that.
you think that one? You got that chunk missing now.
I'm going to say, boy, he's right at 2. I'm going to say 2. 2-0.
There's a 2.
That's a 2?
214.
214. Holy moly.
Finally,
That
a
is
2-pounder.
awesome.
So since he's missing, somebody's
Chuck.
chewed him up. We're gonna
He's probably a 235.
take him a genetics out of the lake. Good fish.
That's a good one there.
Fish.
And That is a beast.
I got him. I got him. I got him. I got him. I got him.
We got it.
I got him. I got him.
Whoa, what a freaking pig. Good night of living. Look at that thing. That's a 2 all day long right there.
That's a 2.
2 and some change maybe.
Maybe like a 201.
Yeah.
That sun has not been our friend today for the video, y'all. I don't know why, but let's see what this one. Let's see how many inches it is.
All right.
14 and a half. And that one's gonna be a 196.
196. All right.
Throw him in the live well. We'll check him out and do some
Goodness.
processing on that one. I think it sees it.
Yep, there it comes. Come.
Oh my God! Holy cow!
That is a pig.
Holy cow!
That is a pig now.
Back of the boat, back of the boat. Back
Okay.
of the boat. What do we have there, Jason? What do we have there?
It's a behemoth. Gracious
Mossy
sakes.
jaws, baby. Mossy jaws.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen a crappie that big in person.
Holy cow.
Goodness
the size
sakes.
of this fish.
Well, I know I ain't never caught one that big. I ain't never seen nobody catch one that big, not in person.
So big one right there. He's over 2, I promise you that.
Oh yeah, he's way over 2.
He's about 2 and a half. 2 and a half.
Look at that. Look, that's my hand. thing's the size of a hubcap. All right, well we gotta weigh it.
All right. 250.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say. Yeah.
250. 242.
242. Gosh knows what a tank.
242.
Oh, it went away. But, oh, it's probably down on the bottom. You
I
save
see
it?
Yeah, I saved it.
You saved it. Man,
There it is.
what a pig.
Fish gonna go 16 and a half. 15
He's
and a
about,
half.
yeah, he's
We're
close to
almost
16. Goodness.
Let me hold the camera for a second.
All right. Got it.
Look at that one. Look at that
We're
one.
getting what we need. We're getting what we need for science.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
This is for
This
science.
is for
right
science.
here.
We're gonna age this
So-
fish.
So what- Yep. Crack it open. See how old it is.
Yeah.
You can let us know in the comments below how old you think this 242 fish is. And I don't know. You want to take a guess?
I'm gonna say that
think
fish is
think he's 5,
4 and a half.
4 and a half.
4 and a
All
half.
right,
I think
we'll
they
see.
grow faster
So
on High Rock.
We'll find out.
All right. What do you think, Jason?
This is
Your turn.
pretty awesome.
Your turn.
I think it's my turn.
Your
I think
turn.
It's
Let's
time
do
for
it.
the camera guy to catch fish. That's always good when you get to that transition in the video process where let the professional do it, get enough video content, and then it's the camera guy's turn. So,
and we didn't even plan that. That just happened.
I know, just happened, and it's only, what is it, like 11 o'clock?
Yes, sir. Here we go.
I'm liking how this is turning out. Thank you, Lord. That thing like a ton of bread.
Bring it to the left. Bring it to the left. Oh my gosh!
Gracious sakes!
Hit the button.
Woo!
You hit the button?
Oh, not yet.
Yeah. Hit the button. That's a line out. Look at you. Your first good solid fish.
Goodness!
I mean a pig.
What a freaking beast!
Look, hey, look at this.
Look how he's barely hooked. Story of my life.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Awesome. I hope that was recording. I think it is. Yeah, I see it beeping. Yeah,
okay.
Boy. That's a good one. I'm gonna say he's not 2, but maybe 1.9.
Yeah.
Think he's 1.9.
186.
186.
Good fish.
Good deal. I'm going for a PB today. That ain't my PB, but we're getting
Hold it
there.
one more time and smile at the camera.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
fine.
Come up with, I say 1.5.
140.
140.
Good. 151.
Okay.
1.5.
I'm always a little optimistic, you know.
1.5. You didn't feel him, did you?
That's what I saw him. Definitely an eater. No monster, but he definitely is an eater. Yeah. Yeah, he's good. Pound. Probably. Yeah, throw him in there.
He'll eat.
Yeah, he didn't. I didn't feel him, but I just seen the jig disappear. All right, so mission accomplished. We got us some 2+ pounders in here. I think we ended up with 3 that were over 2 pounds. That biggest one was a 242. So we're gonna load these fish up in the cooler here. Some of them's going to science, research. Others is going to the fryer. Because I mean, all of them. I think we cut one that was maybe a pound. The rest of them's like 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So
That's
awesome.
crazy.
That's great.
Thank you, Jason.
And so that's next step. Go check in with Troy Thompson and have him age these fish for us. All right, so Chris Miller and I were able to get out and harvest 21 fish out of the north area, the river area of the High Rock Reservoir. One of the areas where, and I don't think it's any major secret, but one of those areas where, you know, a lot of these big fish are coming from. And the question is, how old are these fish? So here today, just pulled in Troy Thompson, North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission District 6 biologist is going to be here. He's going to show us how to crack open these fish, take out the otoliths, and age these fish. So first up, we're going to get some detailed weights and measurements on these bigger fish. So we picked out the top 4. So we got I think this was a 247, a 217, a 197, and a 189. Of course, and that was with my scale here at home. Chris's was just a little bit different. But these are all some big honking slabs. And then also pulled out a couple of whites here. We caught a couple of really nice white crappies on our expedition, and we wanted to see kind of what some ages are with those. And so we'll see what we find out. Here with Troy Thompson, North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, District 6.
How y'all doing?
He's going to do the honors of splitting these fish open, but also while we're doing that, very importantly, we're going to record the overall length and weight of these fish. And so I'm going to be the court stenographer today, and we'll be taking down all the notes, and he's going to do the hard job.
It's actually pretty easy. I'm going to show y'all how we collect our data out in the field. what we use to manage the sport fish. In this case, crappies. And he's caught me some really nice ones today. A lot of times we don't see them this big. Although I went to Baden Lake a couple of weeks ago and we got a couple that were well over 2 pounds. So. But it's important for us, it's critical really. You can't assess growth without getting the age.
Okay.
So I'm just going to use inches for the anglers. We use a metric system, so it'd be millimeters, but this one's 15 3/4.
Okay.
Inches. Zero it out. You have to zero the scales. There we go. So it's 1105. So 1,000 is 2.2 pounds. So add 0.22 more. So 2.42 pounds basically right here. Nice fish. All right, here we go.
All right.
I use a pair of these diagonal cutters, side cutters. There's other names for them, but you can use a knife too. But just come right in here and where the gills come together. Snip that. Did you see that? Isthmus, that joint. So the business is right here. The swelling in their backbone where the otoliths are at. I'll snip that. And let me try to, this is just, I do it in one step, but this is so you can see what's going on. Peel that back. Can you see that swelling right there?
Okay.
So in younger fish, you can, it's kind of transparent. You can see through it.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I'll snip both ends in this case and try to pop it off where you can see how they lay in there. Let's see. I didn't cut quite enough. Okay, that's the cover. And there you see too, see the bright white?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the otoliths.
Okay, so there's 2 of them actually.
Yep.
I did not
It's
realize
a pair.
that. Awesome.
And they come out
Really?
just like
That is so cool.
And they're important for balance, and they
Okay.
can sense pressure and acceleration and things like that.
Very cool.
Okay.
So we didn't even really tear that fish up that much to get those out, so I think we're going to fry that up later.
I would recommend that. I would strongly encourage that. So importantly for what we do is to clean these things up real good,
Okay.
because we'll collect a lot at a time, and we end up taking them back to the lab to process later.
Okay.
And if you leave a bunch of gunk on them, they're nasty after a couple of months.
Gross,
They start,
pretty disgusting
yes.
thing. Okay, 14.5 inches, 961 grams.
And something funky's going on here.
Yeah, it looks like he met with an unfortunate accident of some sort.
Something along the lines.
Maybe a turtle or something trying to get a hold of him. I don't know.
It's hard to say. Something. Maybe he passed a hook. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Say they rust though.
Well, that could be too. Yeah, you never
I'm
know.
gonna try to break this one. See.
Oh, looky there. Yeah, you can just see him sitting right down in there. That is so cool.
I kind of skipped ahead on that.
Yeah, that's okay.
You can just do one snip basically and crack it.
Yeah.
And here they are.
Okay, that's
In
really
the
neat.
bucket.
All right. Very good. We're going to put those in vial 1002. Okay.
And maybe you can see if he'll one snip. Now, if it goes well, he'll just break.
Yep.
And there they lay.
Wow, this is like, these are pretty easy to get to. I kind of envisioned it'd be a little tougher to find them.
Yeah, if we were doing catfish, it'd be a
It'd be a
whole
whole
other
different
scenario.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a real art getting those out because they're tiny. I have some I'll show you later,
Okay.
but
That was our one, I think. I think we came up with that one weighed like 198
okay.
pounds or something like that. We can check our math here in a little bit, but That's a good one, for sure.
There they are. It's a little bit like that game Operation. He does remember childhood. Some of us like myself still live in childhood sometimes.
That's it.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Okay. All right.
All right. So now we're going to move
to the
on
white crappie.
to some whites.
You can see the banding and the little yellowish tint. That's the best way. Usually the obvious way out in the field.
Got a little different shape to their head too, seems like.
Yeah. I'll try to show you when I get the otolith out. It's a little different inside as well.
Okay.
13 1/4.
Okay.
There's a big overlap, so it's not foolproof.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 6. So they usually have 5 or 6.
Okay.
I think blacks are 7 or 8, but sometimes they're 6, and sometimes these have 7. So it's not a fail-safe bet.
Okay. I've heard sometimes there's with these sort of overlap, they hybridize.
They do.
Yeah.
Especially in high rock. One year I estimated we got 30-some hybrids out of, 300 or 400 fish.
Okay.
So this joint here's just something I've noticed. A lot of times it's wider and longer on the white crappie. But it's just something for fish nerds.
Fish nerds. That's us.
Yeah.
We're fish nerds.
That's right.
Okay.
Right there with that.
Got those. All right.
And let's see. That other one was pretty clear. I should have showed that one. You could see.
Oh yeah, it's very clear. Not as opaque as some of the others.
You could see the lines a lot, or the annuli, the year markers a lot better on the last one. Anyway.
Okay.
They're really coming to light once we put them under the scope.
All right, so we switched over here to the Brilliant Fishing Podcast Nook. I guess you can call it a nook.
But I wanted to show y'all a little bit of some of the fish we work with, and also just to give you an idea of how growth differs, particularly amongst the otoliths. But so these are all 3-year-old fish. They're different species. We'll start with the crappie. That fish is probably in the 9-inch range. This is a little bit tricky. It's a largemouth bass. No, you think, oh, that's small, right? But one of the deal is we collect these in the spring and these in the fall. So this is actually 3.5. So this would be a little bit bigger had we collected it in the fall. That's a 3-year-old bass. They're usually around 15 inches at that point. Striped bass. There you go. That's probably, they're usually about 23, 24 inches, 5 pounds. 3-year-old, they're all 3-year-olds. Here's a twist. So these are all, it's called the sagittal otolith. It's a different structure. Like I said, we have 3 pairs. Fish have 3 pairs as well. This is a blue catfish.
What?
Yeah.
That little thing?
3 years old. And
That's nuts.
that's about 12-inch long blue catfish.
Really?
No joke.
Wow.
That's called a lapillar otolith.
Okay.
But you said each fish has 3 pairs of these and different.
Yes.
Okay.
Different. I've actually extracted all 3 from some of the catfish. This is another blue cat.
Okay.
I have both otoliths from him, and I've polished them down. So a little bit's missing.
Okay.
Okay, you
So it's
like to
those two
guess
that are
how old
little-
this one is compared to this
I
one?
don't know. It looks a little yellow.
Getting long in the tooth, maybe.
So yeah.
Or maybe it is
All right.
just
I'll take a guess.
There's no wrong answer.
No wrong answer.
No wrong. No. Yeah.
I'll say 8 years old.
Also, there's no right answer. So if had you got it right, you wouldn't get any reward. So this joker was 25 years old.
25 years old.
25 years old from Baden Lake.
Oh my word.
These are from Lake Tamalex this year.
Okay.
And interestingly, one of my workers was out with me, and I've seen so many of these fish I can kind of tell sometimes. But a really old stunted fish will have giant eyes, like those
Really?
big eyes
Okay.
posters. You remember
yeah,
those?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's obvious
Okay.
on some of them.
All right. Okay. So
And
this
when I
is
shucked them out, I could tell. I better keep this straight. Okay, I already know.
Okay, so these are stunted crappies from Tom Legs.
And the difference between, they're really round. I don't know if you can get that.
Okay.
Instead of growing lengthwise, they just get thicker. They put on a coat every year. But I'll have to. I've already looked at these earlier, and they were. One was 11, I think, and one was 13 years old.
Wow. Goodness sakes. All right.
And 209 millimeters. So 8 inches.
Oh, wow. So these are 8-inch crappies.
8-inch crappie
that were
a decade old.
Wow. Goodness.
Because I do have a fast growing fish from Blewett.
Mm-hmm.
So this fish was 298 millimeters.
Okay. 298.
Getting on to 12 inches.
Okay, so that's a pretty good sized fish.
And the amazing thing is 1 year old.
1 year old.
1 year old.
1 year old, and it was 12 inches?
Right at 12.
Right at 12.
It was the biggest one that we got that year. That was an age 1. You can see it's longer, but if I could hold them both up, you would see.
Okay, that one looks like it's thicker.
Yeah, these are
like
see, look how thin that is.
thin.
If I can hold my hand
yeah.
steady. All right, we'll start with number 1.
Okay, so this was the big one.
The big daddy, or big girl, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many rings, it's a little hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
And back in our lab, I would crack these,
Mm-hmm.
and once a fish gets over 5, you're better off to crack them to get a more accurate read.
Well, feel free to crack one of these.
Yeah, we'll crack one after we do the whole view.
Okay.
On to number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow.
10 years old.
Man, I was not expecting them to be that old.
Okay. So that fish is starting to get a little geriatric. Now, it did weigh 2.17, I think.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 9 or 10.
Okay. So that fish is 9, 10 years old. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to put 9 down.
Okay. So confidently is 9, I think.
At least 9.
Wow. That is just crazy. I would not have guessed that.
Okay, this is number 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, and that's a 5-year-old fish.
Yeah.
Okay, and this was still like right at a 2-pounder. Our number 3 fish was 198.
188 for this
Or
one.
188, yeah.
Poundage.
Yeah, 188 on the
That's
poundage.
not a lot difference from 2.12.
No, not really. Not really, but there's a significant age gap there.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
9 years to 5 years. So
1, 2, 3. Yep, I'm calling this one 5.
okay. So that was fish number 4. Now that was our other big black crappie that weighed 198.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So let's check out these whites. So these last 2 samples we took were the white crappies. So this is a 13.25 inch, 1.17 pound white crappie. Came from Potts Creek.
3 years old.
3 years old.
They're a lot
Okay.
easier to read when they're small. Smaller.
Okay. So 3-year-old fish. That's pretty cool.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4. So 4 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
And that fish was just a little bit bigger. When we look at our data set here, it was that one was a 13.75. It was about a ½ inch bigger. Instead of 1.17, it was 1.34 pounds. So just a little bit bigger. And it's 1 year older. Okay. Well, that's cool.
Well, that was so cool, and I don't think any of us saw where this data was going to take us. We had no idea that we were going to come up with some 2-pound crappies, and in the case of the one, it was like a 242. None of us ever would have had an idea that thing would have been 10 years old. And the biologist was surprised. Chris and I thought, hey, we're dealing with 4 or 5 year old fish. Kind of the outside of the data range of what's normal. Troy suggested that his guess would have been these fish might have been 5 years old, maybe 6 on the outside, maybe 7 years old, and here they're like 10 years old. So that's that was mind blowing right there. Well, I called Chris, talked to Chris a little bit, Chris Miller of Mill Rock Crappie Guides, who helped me catch these fish, and he has a ton of questions. I'm also thinking of some questions. And so what we're going to do is we're going to call Troy Thompson to come back in, and we're just going to record a full-length podcast, myself, Chris, and Troy, and we're going to just talk about what does this data do for us? I mean, as fishermen, what does this tell us about the age of fish? What does it tell us about should we be throwing fish back or not? So we're going to talk about all of those things, all those topics. We're going to talk about hybrid crappies. We're going to talk about effects of size and length and creel limits. We're really going to get in the weeds on this stuff. Matter of fact, and we'll release that video separately here in just about a week. Okay, so we're going to spend a full hour dissecting this data and just talking about the health of the crappie population here in general. And we're really going to I think discover some really cool stuff. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Come back in about a week. I guess it depends on when you're watching this, but in about a week from the posting of this video, we're gonna release that whole interview, that whole podcast with myself, Troy, and Chris, and we're gonna really answer a lot of questions. So don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've watched the video this far along, thank you so much. It's a blessing to be able to do this. If you have any questions, of course, reach out to me, brilliantfishingnc@gmail.com. Come back for the podcast. And if you don't want to watch that on YouTube, which you probably should, because we're going to actually show you some photographs. We're going to show you some data tables. We're going to show you some stuff that Troy's going to bring in that's, I think, helpful for us to understand the full picture. But anyway, watch it on YouTube. But if you're driving down the road, you're like, yeah, I'd just rather listen. Don't forget, we're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon Music. All of those you can listen, as you're driving down the road or whatever. But anyway, again, we appreciate your support. Appreciate you watching, and come back again. And we'll see you here soon enough.